Welcome, everyone. The time is 4:59. I'll call the meeting to order. This is the Environmental Services Committee meeting, Thursday, June 6th. As a reminder, the meeting will be live streamed and recorded for public viewing on the town's YouTube page. I will move to item 2, which is a reminder, a declaration of carrying interest to declare it at that time. I see nothing under delegations. So I'll move to item 4. I'll look for someone to move and second the motion here for the minutes. Council Vet, second by Mayor Atkinson. That the minutes be adopted by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee, and that the confidential minutes be of the closed session of the committee remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, and that is for May 2nd. Was there any questions or concerns with those minutes? Seeing nothing. Roll call for the vote. All in favor? And that's carried. We'll move on to item 5, which is business arising from previous minutes. Does committee members or staff have anything? Seeing nothing. Move on to item 6, which is accounts. Item 6.1, I'll read the motion and I'll look for a mover and seconder that the accounts as listed be received by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee. That is for the water list as of May 2024 and the sewer list as of May 2024. Can I have someone move and second that? All right, thank you. We'll open that up for any questions or discussions. Anyone on my left?
Just looking.
Actually, I have nothing at this time, Mr. Chair.
All right, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? It's carried. Move on to staff reports. Item 7.1, read the motion that the report by Paul DeSilva, Director of Public Works, dated May 28, 2024, regarding line stops to facilitate future reconstruction projects in Wyoming be received, and that the quote from TKO Industrial Services for $44,839.64 plus HST be endorsed and forwarded to council for approval. Could I have someone move to second that for discussion? Thank you. Are there any questions? So we do have Paul here. Anything? Mayor Atkinson?
Just a comment. This TKO Industrial Services, we're quite happy with them. They've done some work for us in the past, so there's no questions or concerns.
Through the chair, no questions or concerns. They've done it for the last 5 years. Or members of their staff. So it was a previous company.
Okay.
They kind of split off and started a new one. So either members of the previous company or this company has done the work for the last 5 years.
Okay, I'm good with that. Thank you.
Council Vet?
So is it just in the village of Wyoming where these stops are being put in, or all over the Plympton, Wyoming?
Yeah, through the chair, just in the village of Wyoming, because that's where we lack the ability to isolate without shutting down large areas of the village.
No further questions. We have the motion on the table. I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Item 7.2. I will read the motion that the report submitted by Paul DeSilva, Director of Public Works, dated May 28th, 2024, regarding the CCTV inspection, sewer flushing, and catch basin cleaning project be received, and the revised tender submitted by TFL Environmental Limited in the amount of $72,833.33 plus HST be endorsed and forwarded to council for approval. So we have that report in front of us, and Paul is once again here. Any questions? I'll look to my left, Councilor Rolette. Or sorry, I guess we gotta move it first, sorry.
Was it down the street where the cemetery is where we had problems there in the past? Remember at the end of the street, there was pluggage going on?
Sorry.
Is that one gonna be looked at survey with a camera or anything?
Yeah, so through the chair, I didn't catch which road you were
I
talking.
think it. I'm not sure. Isabella? At the end, there was a house down there plugging up and. There's a lot of issues about, well, they thought it was the line plugged up. Maybe the catch basin and maybe wipes getting into it. And they were gonna keep a close eye, you guys. Don't you? Remember there was wipes or cautionary report put out on don't flush wipes down the toilet? I thought that might have been part of the problem.
Been Huron Street. I think that was here.
Was that?
Huron Street.
You're up, okay, so that's not probably maybe not part of it there, but we're gonna keep an eye on that to make sure that didn't happen.
Huron Street is always on the list of streets that we flush. It's always on there.
Okay,
Yeah, so the intent of this tender was to develop a preventative maintenance program. So every sewer in the entire town will get flushed on a 3-year cycle. However, we also identified priority areas that need to be done on a yearly basis, so those will be done on a yearly basis.
right on, and that's why I'm bringing it up, because it was quite an issue here, and letters coming in and go and explain, like, people, so, yeah, so as long as that one's gonna be done more often. Okay, thank you.
I have nothing.
Nothing further, I will call for the vote, all in favor? It's carried. We have one more staff report. I'll ask for a mover and a seconder that the report submitted by Paul De Silva, Director of Public Works, dated May 28, 2024, regarding capital project status update be received as information. Mayor Atkinson. Thank you. Pretty in-depth update there. Is there any questions for Paul? Not my right, Mayor Atkinson?
I've had some calls and some concerns by some of the residents that are still waiting for those pit jobs, I guess we're gonna call it, where they have to dig in. Are they on top of that now? With the with Neptune, are they on site? I know they were, but are they still around? Are they still gonna have a closure date on that project?
Yeah, through the chair. So they are sticking around until June 21st, and even after that, their project manager is sticking around for an additional week. They've made excellent progress to date. It's been a very challenging project. We've had to pivot a number of times because, as the committee may recall, we had decided that because we had all of these pit meters, that we would try to cut in a bunch of meters inside the homes. That has worked to an extent, but for cottages where they don't have a crawl space and we can't access any of their plumbing, or they want to winterize for the winter, right? They don't want to have to remove the meter every single time. So we've kept a lot of those inside the pit. So we went with pit meters, and then we run a transmitter wire with the transmitter above grade. So even after this project is done, there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done for us to mount the transmitters to the houses. But I'm really happy with the progress that we've made to date, and they are sticking around until they can complete everything that they can. And after that, there will be probably 40 or 50 outstanding ones that we'll have to manage ourselves.
Great, thank you.
Just to follow up on that comment, when you put these in the pit meters at cottages, some of these cottages have the water shut off. So, will that have any effect on these meters? The water shut off would be before the meter, right?
Yeah, through the chair, correct. It would be before the meter.
Yeah,
The meters just stay in
I
ground.
was gonna sit there.
Yeah, 99.9% of them will not freeze as long as they're, 3 feet in the ground. The earth kind of warms the area and they
Yeah.
don't freeze.
So, yeah, but they still pay a minimum fee regardless whether that meter's turning or it don't, right? That's how the billing takes place. We charge for the size of the line and
Yes,
Yeah.
they would pay the minimum fee.
so it's just the minimum water usage, what I should say. Okay.
Further from this? I just have one question. So there's about 200 left So they've already received that letter where that says we're gonna potentially shut off the water. Is the next step to resend that letter or what's? For the last 200 that are left?
Exactly. So last week we sent 26. Because they went to that soft refusal status again. And now this week we're sending more. So we've revised, it's the same letter that the committee approved, just with revised dates. So that letter is going out from us again. Neptune, their project manager has been really, really good to work with. He's really motivated to get the project done. So he goes out and knocks on doors. And if he has someone's number, he'll call them as well. So it's moving along, but like I said, there will be unfortunately a few outstanding ones.
So just follow up on that. How many is there left that you're not getting cooperation?
I don't have a number of how many are gonna be outstanding at the end of the month, because that's when they're gonna leave. But they're completing about 50 a week right now. So as of May 24th, they had 226. So I would imagine there's probably somewhere between 50 and 100 per day.
So according to our letter, now will we proceed then? You're not getting any response from whoever, you're gonna shut it off eventually? Do you have to get like a lawyer? Do you have like some legal? to do that?
Our water use bylaw permits us to do it. We try to encourage them. Our issue is if we go and turn somebody's water off in the morning and they're working all day. If they call us, if they get home at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, they need water, they need water to cook, they need water to bathe. And we aren't gonna be able to necessarily respond, so we have to be very systematic. And, we might have to turn them off in the morning, and then if we don't get a call, go back at 4 o'clock and turn it back on, for example. The whole strategy behind that is just to get people to call, to book an appointment. It's not meant to be punitive in any way. It's just if somebody goes home and they don't have water, the first thing they're gonna do is call us, and then we can say, all right, can you please book an appointment? So we haven't got to that stage yet. We do have the ability to do so, but we don't know if we're going to yet.
Because when you mentioned those numbers, 200 and some, May 24th, there could be a significant amount that aren't cooperating. Eventually you gotta change the meter, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how many you have to shut off or play this little game.
It will be interesting, and
Yeah.
we'll have a better idea in a couple weeks' time of how many that we have to do that. We'll just have to manage it in-house. We do have product at the shop, so we do have meters and transmitters that we can do it ourselves. If there's only like 30 or 40 remaining, and
Okay, well, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. We need to be very clear that, especially at committee and being videotaped, that this eventually will happen if there's no cooperation. Thank you.
There's nothing further. We have that motion to accept this status update as information. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Seeing nothing under section 8 for bylaws, so I'll move on to item 9. I will read a motion here that the minutes from the laws meeting be received, and that's for April 25th, 2024. I have someone move and second that. Mayor Atkinson, thank you. I know we've got Mayor Atkinson here. If there's any questions for him for these minutes? See nothing? All in favor? Carried. There's nothing under correspondence action required. So we'll move on to section 7. Is 11.1. I have a motion that reads that the correspondence relating to recommended reading and routine approval and information items not otherwise addressed by resolution be noted as received by the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee and filed accordingly. We have the 2024 final sewer budget for March 2024 update and the final water budget March 2024 update, as well as the Jacobs monthly report for April 2024. Can I have someone move and second that to get it to the table? Thank you. Any questions on my left for the administrator, Mayor Atkinson?
Question, but more comments. I like the way that we showing the sanitary sewer and the water budgets laid out, how with the actual and where we're at. It's just a running idea where spending our money and how much we have left that's been allotted to the project. So kudos to the people that put that together, because I think it's just really will help us in the future. Basically, I read in depth the report from Jacobs, and I really see nothing jumps out at me on that.
Not very, very good report, really no issues with it.
Questions or concerns?
We will call for a vote. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Brings us to new business. We'll start with our committee members. Is there anything under new business for environmental services? No, right?
Have we had any leaks on Egerman Road recently? How are we making out there? How do we make out this spring, and do we have many, or?
Yeah, through the chair, I think we had 2 last month on Egremont. I know we had 1 on Oil Heritage for sure.
Yes, we had one on Oil Heritage, the same contractor installed that water main. I believe we've done 5 locations on Oil Heritage between Egremont and Fisher. I believe, yeah, this spring we've had a couple breaks or leaks, but nothing substantial.
So about 5 of them on Oil Heritage. So that's interesting.
We haven't had too many issues in that location, but I imagine the further along we get with replacements, the more pressure that section will see. And I imagine we will be doing some more repairs.
I didn't realize we had a problem along Oil Heritage too. Same contractor. Eh?
And that is just from Egremont to Fisher, so
Short section.
it's a very short section.
Okay, well, eventually we'll run out, I guess. Or
Someday.
okay. Okay, that's all I have.
No.
Staff?
No, nothing.
Good. We're good.
I will move on to item 13. See if anyone wants to move or second this controversial one, that the Plympton-Wyoming Environmental Services Committee regular meeting be adjourned. The next regular meeting to be held August 1st, 2024 at 5 p.m. I have someone move that. Thank you. Second, thank you. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you, everybody.